Welcome to KCE's Gen 4 Tuesday night races. We're sitting here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway's one of the most grueling tracks in the season. I'm sitting here with Matt in the booth. Matt, how's it going, buddy?
It is going great, Coco. Good to be here tonight. Looking forward to some great racing here at the Coliseum. Night race at Bristol tonight. We have 15, maybe 16 cars in the field. We should have a very good night tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be a really interesting night. You know, Bristol's a very rugged track. I think people are going to be being real intimate with that outside wall there on the turn entry. So, what do you think this race's going to bring us tonight?
You know, I think we're going to see a lot of tight racing tonight. We were up here in the booth watching these guys practice here a little bit ago, and we had about 8/10 separating the field, these 16 guys. So I think it's going to be a lot of tight racing, short track, so might get some tempers involved here on short track racing. Looking good. Yeah, let's grab a Phil.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Completely out of control, and it's probably a total lack of talent on my part.
Yeah, Phil, Matt here. 16 guys out there on the short track tonight. What's your competition sizing up to be?
It's gonna be tough. I think everybody's gonna be trying to chase Tim all night.
Gotcha, chasing that 88. Tires a little loose, a little tight. What's the tire wear going to do to you?
I think that taking care of the tire is going to be a big factor. If you push it too hard at the beginning of the run, you're going to be in some serious trouble.
Well, Coco and I up here in the booth, really looking forward to it. I hope you guys put up on a good show for the fans. Take that number 30 Chevy and see what you can do with it, man.
All right, good luck.
Yeah, looking through practice, these guys were having a couple slides, trying to get a feel for these cars, so could be an interesting night. We'll see if these guys can keep their cars in one piece.
I think that's it. If you take care of the equipment, I think if you're there at the end, you're going to be in the top 5. What do you think?
Yeah, keeping that car clean, out of the accidents, that's probably a very good call. Top 5. Let's run through our 16 car field here tonight with your pick. Who looks good to you?
Well, you know, I could go ahead and just take the 88 because Phil kind of guided me there, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna pick Shane Bowie tonight.
Shane Bowie. I think the 88 is my pick tonight. This seems like his style of track. He's that driver that's going to keep the nose of that car clean, put the consistent lap times down. I think the 88's taking the win tonight.
I think it's a good pick, but I think what's going to play into effect here is if they have long green flag runs, is the patience behind lap cars and those lap cars not getting nervous with the 88 behind them. Right? I think I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, and lap traffic definitely going to play into the outcome of tonight. I think with this short half-mile speedway, leaders are definitely going to have to make their way through those lap cars. Well, we have about 6 minutes here left of final practice for these guys. I think they're going to try to get the last of the nerves out, get the kinks out of the car, and they'll be lining up in about 5.5 minutes. We'll take you guys through the grid and get ready to go racing at the Great Coliseum tonight.
Welcome back, everybody. Matt, looks like we're getting ready to start this race off at Bristol here tonight.
Yeah, 16 cars are going to grid up out there on track. I believe we'll have our starting grid here. Let's get that up on screen.
There we go.
Let's take these guys through the field. Pole position tonight, the 88 Tim Kennedy. Starting to his outside, the 15 of Spencer Britton. Starting P3, 55 of Shane Bowie. Tony Matthews is on the outside of him in that 89 on the outside. Chris Moulton rounds out your top 5.
In position 6 on the outside, you got Sam Troughton at number 73. Brian Glass in the 7th position on the inside. 8th position is Phil Zarnowski in the number 30. 9 is Mitch Mitchell on the inside, number 21. Gary Kipfer comes in position 10, number 24.
Yep, Sean Kaiser starting just outside top 10, P11 on the inside. Nick Murphy on the outside of him in the 64. Jim Felix starting P13 and that number 4. Daniel Bonner in P14. Vanderlei in P15. And Edwin Post starting P16, bringing up the back of the field.
And that's your field for tonight as these guys get ready to go ahead and go racing.
Yeah, we're going to get a quick start here tonight. No penalties from 2 weeks ago at the championship race. Speaking of that, 2 weeks ago championship, this is now race 1 of our new Gen 4 season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our new season just starting off. I believe it's a season of 12 or 13. I'll have to double check my facts there, but these guys are getting ready to go. But yeah, first one of the season there, Matt. You got this one.
Yeah, 16 guys out on track for race number 1 of the Gen 4 season. Tim Kennedy is going to lead us off to green as they work their way through 3 and 4 here. Let's jump on board. Try to get back where we can see the start of this. And then they're off. Green flag. 160 laps. Tim got a little bit of spin in the tires there. Bad start for the 88. 15 jumps around his outside out to the lead early. Still double file behind those guys. Shane Bowie underneath Tony Matthews, working P3, gets around him clear. Pretty good start for these guys, Coco. Green flag so far.
Yeah, it looks like the front few are getting single file, trying to get everything worked out. Back to Phil there in the 30. Phil goes ahead and looking at too wide right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a long race tonight, 160 laps around Bristol. These guys might be exercising a little bit of patience off the start here, don't you think, trying to keep those cars nice and clean?
Yeah, you got the 95 underneath the Bull and the 84. Brian, he'll fight you every lap, so I expect him to stay out there for a little bit. If Chris wants to get around this track, he's probably going to have to slot in behind like he just did.
Yeah, and these guys are on cold tires still. Lap 5, completing lap 5 coming around. It's going to take a little bit for these guys to get into that rhythm, get the heat in the tires, figure out exactly what their car has for the guys running around them.
Yeah, these guys are showing some real racecraft out there, keeping that green flag for the first 5 laps already.
Yeah, most of these guys are already single filed out. Jump back up front. Spencer, he's jumped out to about a second on P2. Tim Kennedy, your pole sitter now. A little bit of a little poor launch for Tim. Got Spencer that lead and hanging on to it well so far.
Yeah, Spencer's last lap was his fastest lap at a 14.99, and that's holding true to that with Tim right behind him at a 15.02. So those guys are pretty equal.
Yeah. Passing here, what do you think on what these guys are going to need to set up? Are they going to need to set up these passes, get that run off the corner? Can they make a pass in the corner work tonight? What do you think?
My thoughts on that are, when you run in Bristol, the people think that they can handle, I'm hesitant to call it a dive bomb, but entering in a little less braking, getting underneath of the guy. But what I think we're going to see is those guys, as tire wear on, them sliding up and kind of getting door to door, and things like that. So I think they got to be real careful as these tires wear to make sure that they can make that pass. You're better to set it off on exit.
Yeah, and at night, the grip these guys have, they're not going to wear the tires down too much, I don't think. I think they'll have about 4 sets in the pits. I'd be shocked if these guys even use all 4 sets tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at what our fuel mileage sits at about 100 laps they can do, but I think they're going to need rubber way before that.
Yeah, that's a tough call, especially at a short track half mile like Bristol. If you're pitting under green, even with the single pit road rule, you're going to go multiple laps down. And if this race stays green flag, it's gonna take a lucky break, an entire cycle for the whole field to get you out of that tough position.
Yeah, I'm watching the screen right now. I just put us on Phil again in number 30, and I seen him kind of going after the 89, but he just he didn't seem to have it, so he jumped back in there.
Yeah, it's definitely looking challenging for these guys out there with the air and the grip that they've got to get up to the bumper of the car and try to complete that pass. Let's jump on board and see what Shane Bowie's looking at in cockpit here.
Open road in front of him. He's running his line, running his pace. So
definitely get a feel for the high banks in this view.
yes, you really do.
Looking and listening to what Shane's doing there. Definitely got to be a little patient. Car might be getting a little tight, wanting to snap around on exit there, being pretty ginger with that throttle.
Yeah, that's like I said, you got to watch those things. I mean, from that view, as you brought it up before, the track turns are 24 degrees to 28 degrees of banking. It's there's a lot of banking there.
What do you say we run through our field real quick, coming around, completing lap 22. P1, Spencer, still about 8/10 ahead of P2, Tim Kennedy in that 88 Chevrolet. Behind Tim, Shane Bowie in the 55. Still love that throwback Bud paint scheme that he's running. P4, Tony Matthews and Sam Drop rounding out your top 5. As he's making a move, goes low on the 89 of Tony. A little bit of a slide job there, but he makes it work and gets it completed.
Just going out to your 6th place position, Phil Sarnowski sitting in the 6th position. Chris Moulton sitting in position 7 in the 95. Then you have Brian the Bull Glass sitting in 8th position with the 84. Mitch Mitchell, 9th position in car number 21, and Sean Kaiser rounding out your top 10 in a number 2.
Yeah, behind Sean, Nick Murphy in P11. Gary Kipfer behind him running P12. Gary started 10th, currently running 12th, fell back a couple positions. Right behind Gary, you've got Ed Post in that 79 Jack Daniels Ford. Behind Ed, you've got Daniel Bonner in the 42. Jim Felix in P15. And Vanderlei in P16. And as we made our way through the field there, looking at those leaders, they're working on some lap cars already.
Yeah, we noticed that they went red. Let's jump up to the Spencer here and see what we got. He's looking right now at Jim Felix on the outside. Jim lets him by. Doesn't put up any type of fight.
P2, Tim gets around him. The run, as this run goes on, Tim's hitting P2, working on trying to cut that lead of the 15 out in front of him.
Yeah, we got to watch those times because right now we got a .85 as a gap between first and second place.
Yeah, Tim a little bit slower that last lap, working around some traffic, 4/10 back from Spencer that last lap.
Like, that is your pick and everything, and I wouldn't count him out at all.
Yeah, closing the gap there that lap, just 2/100ths slower than P1. '15's got a few more lap cars to deal with as they're too wide in front of him. That's going to check him up a little bit. Does he thought about putting it 3 wide there? Maybe smart move, being a little patient.
Gary there in the 24 scrapes the wall ever so slightly.
Tim closed that gap a little bit with how patient Spencer had to be with those lap cars in front of him, now just half a second behind. Little congested up here around 95. Chris Moulton in 6. Looking out in front, he's got 73 of Sam Drought, P5. Trying to chase him down, get into that top 5.
Just as we discussed earlier there, Matt, these lap cars, these guys are getting around them okay, but as, the drivers get a little more tired, a little more fatigue sets in, those passes are going to get more dangerous.
Yeah, these guys are definitely settling into their rhythms, and they're going to know what each other's got. Looking up ahead, Phil Sarnowski's making a move and completes it around the 55 Shane Bowie. Phil now up to P3. No, I was saying these guys are kind of getting into that rhythm, and I want to jump back and kind of look at what Moulton was doing there. He's definitely kind of sending it, letting the car drift up in that corner. You'll see him as we go down into the corner here. Lets that car ride all the way out, almost up into that upper lane, and then dives that back down looking for that straight exit, trying to get the front end straight.
Yeah, that 55 had some major closure rate to Sam in mid-corner on that. Was that turn 1 or turn? Yeah.
Yeah, on board. Bowie just gets around the lap car of Gary, as does Moulton. There's still a few out in front of them. Lap traffic, short track, I think we're going to be talking about this all night. It's going to be a factor. You're going to be trying to get around those guys and be patient when you need to be.
You're seeing, some good guys getting lapped already with the 44 laps. 44 laps under green flag conditions. That's a lot of space to gain up to.
Jumped up to our lead. Tim Kennedy's caught the 15 of Spencer and is working the inside, trying to make that pass work. The 15's going to get a little bit, I say that. I think he was being generous and gave him the spot there.
Yeah, as we say every week, the 88 knows how to take care of his equipment, keep the tires underneath them, and he's always there at the end.
Yeah, definitely that 15 definitely showed that short run speed. And if we get a late race caution, that could mean good things for him.
Absolutely. Switch it. Yeah, we're switching over to Edwin Post.
Jumped over to Tony Matthews, fell back to P16 to last. Made a pit stop there. I think we missed it. Not sure what happened there. We'll see if we can find out and let you guys know. See Tim working the inside, some lap cars. So, Coco, I'm hearing the 89 might have got into the wall. Sounds like maybe ended up with a little bit of damage, possibly the toe on that car, and had to go in and get a little fixing.
Yeah, they had a couple of hammers out, so beating some of that linkage back. We'll have to see how that affects Tony tonight as far as getting into that wall a little harder than he wanted.
Yeah, it must not have been too bad. Luckily, he's back out on track, but definitely got some making up to do with laps down. You know, looking, Tim has really stretched out this gap to P2. That long run speed in that car, almost 4 seconds back to Spencer in P2 now. Right on board with Spencer a minute and see what his car's doing. Tires might have got a little too hot.
Yeah, when he was running that short run, maybe he just gave it a little more, little too much, trying to let him cool down a little bit, see what he got, and waiting for the pit window.
Yeah, you can see right behind him, Phil Sarnowski in that 30, looking to take advantage, looking for any opportunity he can to get around the 15 here. Might try to use the 4 out in front of him as a pick if they get there with the timing right.
Yeah, you see the 15 drifting up really high.
Yeah, them tires are definitely wearing down. These guys, as far as their fuel run, these guys are a little bit over halfway on what they can run on a tank of fuel. So tires are definitely getting a little warm, maybe getting a little bit unhappy with these guys. Yeah. Might just be holding on until they can get down pit road and get 4 new Goodyears put on.
Well, that's a question for you, Matt. Do you run this sucker all the way to empty and to dry? Or do you kind of come in at 80 laps doing it and splitting it with one stop?
You know, I think splitting it on one stop, the way this is going, the field is spread out. I'm probably going to run lap 80 and hit pit road, look for them tires, try to capitalize on all the grip I can.
As this race is going on, I'm looking at it, and you're not seeing a lot of cautions. You're seeing the guys be real, have a lot of racecraft and make sure that, the passes are clean. I'm going in at 80.
Yeah, it's definitely risk-reward kind of a situation if you go in at lap 80 and you catch an unlucky break with a caution in the middle of your pit cycle. It could trap you down not one but multiple laps.
It always seems to get me at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah. Jumped over onto the 55, Shane Bowie. Started 3rd, currently running 6th. Lost a couple positions, but still on the lead lap, fighting for that top 5.
Yeah, Shane is just putting down laps at this point. I think he's got his own rhythm, his own pace, and he's just going to run with it. Oh, we just one off the wall there.
Chris Moulton makes a move around Spencer Britton for position 3. Spencer's really fallen off on this run.
Yeah, I think he might have used up his stuff a little bit as you look at Sam looking at, kind of looking high there just to see where he can come in at.
tight racing. I think Sam's going to complete this here going into turn 3.
I think the 15 did all he can do to try to maintain that position without wrecking Sam there in the 73, but he had to give it up quick. Gary let Sam just right on by.
Yeah, Gary sitting P15. Definitely got some trouble with that car as well at 24.
As we see Gary drop down into the pit lane here, just can't handle it. Needs those fresh rubber.
Yeah, I think even a lap down as he was, I think this is going to draw some of these other guys down to pit road for those tires.
Little short on the 80, but yeah, still can make it. I saw someone coming out of pit lane. On board right now with Phil Sonarski, number 30, looking underneath the 77 of Vanderlei.
Yeah, Phil, P2, about 6 seconds back from our leader, Tim Kennedy. That gap's closed a little bit, and then it's widened back out a little bit. So not gaining, but not losing a whole lot.
Jim Felix is in pit lane now, getting his fresh new tires.
Early race leader Spencer Britton, currently P5. And as I say that, looking out the back of that car, looks like the leader Tim Kennedy's making his way around him. So P5 up to position 5 now, a lap down early in this race.
Yeah, Tim still has to pit, so that should bring some things back together again. We'll go through our lineup once we have these pit cycles come on out. Looks like Spencer just went into pit lane.
Yeah, I was just noticing that. And Chris Moulton, 95, on pit road as well.
Yeah, it looks like Tim's.
Coco?
Looks like
Think
Tim's
the leader
going
comes
all the
down?
way to. He's going to 80 laps, I believe. Watching the leader, Tim Kennedy, number 88, expecting him to do a pit stall soon.
Yeah, we've got several guys still out on track. Tim Kennedy, Phil Sarnowski, and Sam Drott in P3, the only guys on the lead lap at the moment. Your first car lap down for the lucky dog, the 64 of Murphy, who I believe still has yet to pit. Looking at about 5 guys, as I say that, the 64 of Murphy and the 55 of Shane Bowie hit pit road.
Tim did not come in at the estimated 80 laps as we were talking about there, Matt. And he's still going around in circles out there at 84 laps completed. Vanderlei, number 77, gets up into the wall.
That car is a little tore up.
He's moving, so we don't have a caution yet. Oh, but we're watching him heavily.
Car looks like it's a little difficult to turn for him, having trouble getting it down onto pit road.
As we watch the 77 limp around.
Yeah, I think every car out on track right now going around him is screaming, hoping he makes it down on pit road and does not bring out a caution here.
He just crossed the line. Let's see, and he's in. I think he's going to be retiring for the evening. What do you think there, Matt?
That's kind of what it sounds like on the radio. It sounds like his night might be done. That's unfortunate. And this track is so difficult to try to keep that car clean and so easy to get enough damage it takes you right out of it.
I'm looking here just at the pit stop strategy, Matt. You know, Tim's still going around. We got Drought still going around. We got Kaiser still going around. 89, 88, 87 laps. What do you think?
Yeah. You know, you pull up that chart and I see something interesting there. I see one guy that might be trying to do this on a 3-stop. Interested to see how that strategy is going to work. Looks like Matthew's in P5 as we look on board with Tim. Live pit stop gets it woed down.
Yeah, Tony's doing the 43, 46. He's doing what? So we'll see how he ends up on a 3-stop.
Yeah, Tony started 4th, currently sitting P5, but got several guys lapped down, and Tony's going to have fresher tires for a lot of this race if he's running on those 3 stops. So we'll see what that does for him.
Once we get Tim back on track, we'll go through your lineup for you to give you kind of a snapshot. Oh, caution flag is out. Looks like Edwin Post might have had a problem. Let's see what we can see there, Matt. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, it looks like the 24 just gets into the left end of the 79. Car gets a little loose, spins. The 4, Jim Felix, gets a little bit collected in that.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, you know, everybody's trying so hard to get there.
Yeah, let's jump on board the 24 and look at this, see what he sees going into the corner here. Yeah, looks like 2 guys fighting for the same piece of real estate here, Coco.
Yeah, it just keeps coming, huh? Yeah, this is, you know, gets into that quarter panel, spins and run. 4 got nowhere to go, right? So I think they did the best they can. He holds it down, locks it down. Guys get around him safely.
Yeah. Unfortunate for the 79. Edwin Post putting that nose of that car front end into the wall. That's probably going to end his night.
All right, Matt, let's see if Spencer can talk to us tonight.
Feeling pretty good. Happy I got some new tires.
I was going to talk to you about that, Spencer. Starting off the race, green flag, you look like you got a lot better of a jump on the race start from that 88 on pole position. Got you out to an early lead, built up about a second, and then there at the end of that green flag run, you fell off a little.
Yeah, I don't know how Tim does it, man. I felt like I was conserving my tire, and he damn near lapped me after we were halfway into the run, and he passed me. I don't know how he does it.
Well, listen, man, looks like looks like you guys are getting double file for a restart here. So good luck to you. Keep that car in one piece, and let's see what you got.
10-4, thanks.
Oh. Yeah, I'm glad I took the 88 as my pick. That car looks bad fast tonight. Green flag. Lap 97 of 160. 30, Phil Sarnowski. Great launch on the outside. Moves around Tim for P1. Tim settles in. P2 single file. Chris Moulton looking around the outside. Is he going to get there? He does not.
Yeah, right now everybody's on equal ground, right? Everybody got new tires. They all feel invincible out there right now.
Yeah, 73, Sam Drought looking the inside of Tim Kennedy. Gonna get the run, gonna complete. Oh, Tim gets the run on the outside, holds him down. Still too wide going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, these guys are battling pretty hard. 95 does not want to give it up.
Yeah, looking back through the rest of that field, I think we're pretty clean. Stay with the action up front here. Tim still trying to make that outside work. 95 gets around him. 15's looking. Tim shuts the door on him.
Oh, we got the 95s coming around.
Caution, yellow flag.
We'll have to see if we can grab that.
Let's see what we got there. I'll move that over here. We got him getting into the wall there a little bit there. Matt coming on in the corner. We'll continue to watch here.
Yeah, little hot on entry. Car sets up. Looks like it's loose going in. Right through center. Just still too much. Can't hang on to it. Right in front of the 88. Tim barely misses that. 95 backs it up into the wall.
Yeah, at speed, these guys all get around. It looks like he does lock it down. You can see the tire tracks. These guys are going to get underneath them without incident. So let's go see that. And here comes Gary, late to the party, but makes it nice and clean.
Yeah, lucky break for Lucky Dog. Sean Kaiser gets that go around.
I'm going to check out real quick on the Tim Kennedy side of things just to see that cockpit view. He had to have a fistful of pennies here.
Yeah, definitely a hold on moment. Woo, close.
Yeah, that was definitely a close one there, Matt. I think that's quite interesting to see how that unfolded, huh?
Yeah, props to the whole field here and to the 95. Backs into the wall, gets a little bit of damage. I think he can get that car repaired, get back out there, but could have been a lot worse at a short track like Bristol.
Absolutely. It looks like Chris is doing his thing. He's still riding out there. I don't think that little back into the wall is going to stop Chris too badly here at Bristol. Yeah.
See if we can grab another driver here. See if we can get the 21 Mitch Mitchell in the booth. Mitch.
Hey guys, yeah.
Hey Mitch, wanted to grab you under caution real quick here. Tell us what you got in that car.
I'm feeling pretty good. I think that first run, I kind of wore the tires out a little bit. I saw Tim and these guys a lot faster than me, and so this time I think I'm going to try to save some tires.
All right, thanks, Mitch. We'll put you back. Good luck. Green flag is out. We might need to speed up our driver interviews. What do you think there, Coco? We might have put that guy a little late to the party there. Yeah, and I'll apologize to Mitch on air, so he'll hear me later. Sorry about that, Mitch. But looks like you got a clean start sitting P6, so go get him, buddy. Jump back out front. Phil Sarnowski got the lead on that restart. I believe he started out front, so good launch, I think, for the first time on that inside row, retaining that lead on a restart tonight. Sam Drought in P2, right behind him. Spencer Britton, P3, and Tim Kennedy in the 88 P4. Tony Matthews right behind him in P5 in that 89 Chevrolet.
P6 looks like Mitchell in the number 21. P7 is Shane Bowie in the 55. P8, Sean Kaiser in the number 2. P9, Chris Moulton in the 95. P10 is Nick Murphy in the number 64, and that rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, Nick sitting in the lucky dog spot, currently the first car 1 lap down. Brian Glass is P11, currently 2 laps down. Gary Kipfer in P12. Jim Felix in position 13. Daniel Bonner in position 14. Vanderlei is out of the race in P16. Edwin Post in P15 got a little damage and trying to get that car back out on track.
Looks like he's coming back down pit road without a front end.
Yeah, definitely. Probably trying to see what he can get out of it. Probably still a little bit more damage before he can make speed.
Yeah, Bristol can be a frustrating race when you're sitting there in pieces.
Yeah. So, Coco, we watched Tim early in this race jump out to the lead after a pretty decent green flag run, and now sitting back in P4 with 3 guys to get around, not just the one like he had on that initial run. Think he makes it?
I'm not going to say no. I think he will, but I will tell you that I noticed these guys were really aggressive and jumped on him early, forcing him high. So maybe getting through that traffic is going to slow him down enough for these guys to hold on to that rear bumper of his.
Yeah, looking tight racing here. 3 cars battling for P2. 15, Spencer Britton. Tim Kennedy gets around the 73 of Sam Drought. All 3 of those guys putting on some good hard racing.
Yeah, they definitely are out there, elbows up. So I look forward to the end of this race, especially if we get some late caution or something. This is going to be an interesting ending.
Yeah, coming around to complete lap 118 of the 160 tonight. Still got a little ways to go for these guys.
What do you figure, 40 laps to go next time around, and these guys are still hunting each other like crazy with the top 9 on the lead lap.
Yeah, 9 guys battling for those spots, and I say still got a ways to go, but 40 laps around this half mile is going to go quick.
Yeah, sometimes, when you're racing Bristol, you're like, okay, where are we? But then some other times you kind of look down and you knocked off 30 laps, so it's a quick race.
Yeah, I wanted to jump out and with your leader, the 30 Phil Sarnowski, I wanted to see out front of his car. We saw him go around the 79 of Ed Post, that lap car. Somewhat clear track in front of him for a minute here with now 38 to go.
I noticed that Tim isn't closing too hard on the 15 yet, but they're kind of maintaining a gap going around. I think they might be just biding their time, holding their gear together.
Yeah, we saw Tim be patient with his tires on that first run and start to put a gap on some of these guys. So we'll see if he can repeat that.
I think that Tim might need a new paint job. Check for like the baby shark or something, because he smells blood in the water, I think.
Yeah, looking around at some of the battles going on track, this is one of your closer ones for first position. You've got 3 guys all trying to get up there and take that checkered flag.
Well, there's my 55 in what, fifth position right now. Let's see, is he?
P6.
P6. Come
Yep,
on,
working
Shane.
on P5, trying to get up there to that 89. Tony Matthews in front of him for that top 5 finishing position.
Well, I did bring up the pit stop strategy just to see what Tony's looking like. Tony's still sitting there at the 33, so he did 43.50 and then 33, right, so far. So,
yeah, looking across that, most of these guys are all sitting around that 34 to 36 range. You see our leader, Phil Starnowski, is actually on lap 40 on this cycle. So your leader's got what looks like the most laps on his tires outside of P10 Murphy.
yeah, that's going to be an interesting, and they're very interested to watch that kind of fan out.
Yeah, 30 laps to go. You can definitely tell tire age playing a factor here. He's not running away from P2 and 3, the 15 and the 88 behind him. Those guys have actually closed that gap a little bit. Those tires definitely playing a role, as we've seen out front there. He's going to be dealing with some of these lap cars before the end of this race. You see the 24 out in front of him.
Yeah, and I think that's where, they're going to bunch up, and that's where the race is going to be decided, right? How well does a 30 get through traffic?
Yeah. 28 to go, 3/10 separate your leader and P2, Spencer Britton. Tim Kennedy, P3, another 2/10 behind Spencer. I'm going to jump back while we have a second, because this is going to go quick through the field here. Jump back.
Yeah, Matt, as we discussed this, we saw that Tony jumped into the pit lane, coming out on track now. So he's sticking to his plan, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's, from the beginning, he's wanted to do this on 3 stops. He's doing it. We'll see how that works out for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's run through real quick for the end of this. Sam Drott in P4. Shane Bowie in that 55 in P5. Mitch Mitchell in P6. Sean Kaiser in P7. Chris Moulton, position number 8. Nick Murphy in P9. And Tony Matthews round out your top 10.
P11 is Brian Glass in the number 84. P12, Gary Kipfer in the number 24. P13, number 4, Jim Felix. P14 is Daniel Bonner. And then Edwin Prost in 15th position in the 79. And of course, Vanderlei has retired from the race. He's sitting in his hauler.
Yeah, jumping back up front, you can see it's getting a little congested for these leaders. Phil Starnowski made his way around him, looks like pretty clean. The 15 and 88 still working around that 24.
Yeah, I don't know if the Tony thing, Tony's going to be real aggressive here, which could hurt those leaders.
Yeah, he's definitely fighting to get those laps back in case that caution comes out, and you can't blame him. These guys, lap down or not, they still have their own race to run.
They do, and one of the things with Tony is, he just made the pass on the 88, I believe, going after the 15. Those fresh tires are definitely coming through, but I just don't know if he has enough time to do it.
Yeah, not unless I think a caution comes out. That's going to be the break that the 89 needs. So we saw Tim get around the 15 for P2. 1 position to go for Tim.
Yeah.
'88, Tim's closing that gap now 3/10 up to P1 Phil Sarnowski. coming around to 15 to go for these guys.
Yeah, it looks like the 30 has a mirror full of 88.
Yeah, and he's going to make that car just as big as he can. This is a great view. We can see it right out the back. 88's trying to force a mistake here if he can.
I guess he's just getting on the back bumper, trying to make him a little nervous.
Yeah, I'd like to jump on board, see if we can get in cockpit of this 88, see what he can do here. Coming around 13 to go. That 30 out in front of him's wheeling it. Everything that car's got, give me all the grip you can give me.
Yeah, he knows he's back there, and he is coming up on lap traffic, so it's going to definitely play a role. We'll have to see how this closes up.
You ever watch Days of Thunder, Coco? I think the 30's in there wondering if Harry put on the special set of tires.
Yeah, they're matched perfect, right?
That's right, matched tires. 10 to go. 30's gonna have to make that car 2 lanes wide. Lap car's gonna play a role. 88 looking inside. Can he hold it?
Oh, pulls a 3 wide on the...
They're gonna be 3 wide on the exit. Oh, that was tight. Great job by these guys. 3 wide at Bristol is not an easy thing to do.
No, Tim's still, the 30's still fighting back on that outside.
Oh yeah, getting that good run off that corner exit, holding that outside, trying to pinch him down. 88 completes that pass. Looks like the 84, Brian Glass slapped down, gave way, showing a little respect there.
Yeah, there goes Tim sitting at 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and this isn't over. Looking out front, I think they're going to catch another group of lap cars. Man, these laps go by so quick here. We were just talking about 30 laps to go. What seemed like a breath ago. Watching Tim coming around to 5 to go, gets around the 64 there. Phil's falling back just a little bit in P2. Unless traffic plays a role, this might be the 88's race to win or lose.
As he goes around another lap vehicle.
Yeah, that was the 2 of Sean Kaiser. He just went around there. Go through your top 5. 88, Tim Kennedy in P1. P2 is Phil Sarnowski. P3 is Spencer Britton, fighting with Sam Drought for that position. Sam Drought currently in P4, right behind him. P5, Shane Bowie is your top 5. Leader Tim Kennedy in that 88. 711 Chevrolet coming around, 2 to go, looking for that white flag. Tim coming out of 4, flagman waving white flag, 1 to go in tonight's KCE Racing Bristol Motor Speedway event. Tim Kennedy makes his way down the backstretch into 3 and 4. I don't think the lappers are going to play any factor. Coming out of 4, checkered flag, Tim Kennedy, your winner, KCE Racing Bristol Motor Speedway. Phil Sarnowski, P2, Spencer Britton coming home on the podium, P3.
That was an interesting race. It looked like Tim held his stuff together, took care of his equipment till he needed it, huh, Matt?
Yeah, watching Tim here, he's going to come around, light him up, burn it down. Congratulations to Tim, P1.
Nice burnout there for us. You think he practices that, Matt, or?
He gets enough of it, doesn't he?
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to grab our top 3 here and see if we can talk to each one individually.
All right. Coco's going to see if he can grab Spencer Britton, get him up here in the booth.
I got you guys.
Well, Spencer, good race tonight. Started P2, got the lead early, led a few laps out there. Seemed like you got some wear on the tires there in that first run, and you brought it home for a P3. Tell us about it, man.
Yeah, definitely losing the front tire. I don't know what it was. It just kind of, mine seemed to go all at once and everybody else seemed to maintain their pace. So not sure what I was doing different. Staying right with him, wasn't running too fast or anything. But had a fun run there with Sam at the end. We played some pretty hard defense, but he raced me clean, so that was fun. Overall, pretty fun race.
Yeah, it looked like it. It looked like you got a little lucky on one of the cautions there. Get around that wreck clean.
Yeah, there is. I think both of them happened right in front of me, and just got on the brakes and slid through. So it's all you can hope for.
Yeah. Well, Spencer, congrats on a excellent top 3 finish. Fun race.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. Sure. Yeah, I'll give a hello to my wife. I highly doubt she'll ever watch this, but if she does, hello. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right. That was Spencer Britton in the 15. We're going to try to get P2 finisher Phil Sarnowski up here in the booth.
I'm doing good. I'm disappointed, but I'm doing good.
Disappointed. You had a top 3 finish. You finished second place. Tell us about it. Tell us about the race.
Yeah, I kind of felt like a play thing there at the end. Tim was just kind of giving me some false hope there down the stretch when he turned on the afterburners. I could have swore he was wearing the number 25 today. He was so good.
Yeah, he seemed to have tires at the end of the run, but you seem to have a really strong and fast car for a short run. Would you? Is that the kind of way it felt?
Definitely not. I feel like I had the long run speed on the first run there, and then I think I tried to get out to a big enough stretch at the end that I burned him up too quick. So that was definitely the difference.
Okay. So we were told that tires played a big role in this race tonight, and they said in the beginning you had to watch that right front. So it came to fruition at that point. You see anything out there that just kind of caught you off guard? The caution flag come out. Did that help you or hurt you?
I thought I was going to get caught one lap down because I just pit right before, but thankfully it cycled around and I would kind of worked out okay for me. But I think Tim had about four laps fresher tires than me, but I don't think that played too big of a role.
Great. So congratulations on, like I said, a second place finish. Is there anybody you want to say, hello and thank you to?
Just you two beautiful men. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, Phil. We enjoyed the race tonight, and although you're disappointed, we were not. We thought you put on a hell of a race and did a good job out there tonight. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
That was Phil Sarnowski, and Coco, I think he was trying to butter us up as you worked to get our race winner Tim Kennedy in the lobby. I don't know if complimenting me gets him more airtime.
Hi, guys.
Tim, congrats on an excellent win. Looked like a little bit of back and forth for you tonight. Had to work through a couple guys and earn that one.
I did, yeah. So that after that last caution came out, those guys took off on me, and I thought they were going a bit too hard, so I kind of held back and tried to save my tires a little bit, and I think it paid off.
Yeah, 2 points there. Definitely looked like you were conserving early in these runs, and I think that paid off on both your first pit cycle and this last that brought you home the checkered flag. Looked like you took care of your tires. 2 points. Looked like start of this race, lap one, looked like you might have spun the tires on the restart, and that gave the 15 the lead. And then, Tim, we were on board and jumped in your cockpit under one of those cautions, and lucky to end up with that checkered flag and not in the garage. I think just barely missed that spinning 79 car.
I did, yeah. I had to check my drawers after that one. I saw him backing up, and I was like, "Oh boy, good thing there was nobody else on the right side of me." So, yeah, lucked out there. But yeah, it was a fun time tonight.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Tim, on the win for KCE Gen 4 at Bristol. Look forward to seeing you next week. Any hellos, thank yous you want to say?
Yeah, shout out to KC Racing League for putting on a good show, and thanks guys for broadcasting, taking your time to do it.
All right. Congrats, Tim, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, you. Thanks, Coco.
Yeah, I had a good time with you up here in the booth. The guys out on track definitely put on a good show for us. A lot of good racing, a lot of passing, couple cautions. Overall, great race, great time. Another good one here for KCE.
All right. Well, with that being said, with Matt and Coco in the booth, we're going to say good night, be safe, and bye-bye.